Bienvenidos. Soy la Bruja Espinada, and I am here with a very special pink full moon and Sagittarius reading. So let's get started. There's been a lot of shift and change that's been going on. And with this full moon in Sagittarius and Jupiter just having entered Cancer season, there's going to be a lot of connecting with your feelings and passions on a deeper level. And it's really reaching a point of understanding the feelings that you have regarding career, regarding relationships, regarding friendships, connections, understanding on a deeper level what drives you and how you are emotionally connected to that drive and how it may or may no longer serve you. So this Sagittarius full moon is actually pushing you and encouraging you to find that drive, but that drive that you genuinely feel that you're being moved towards. If you've been feeling like there's been something that no longer sits right with you, this is huge moves that are being conducted with Jupiter entering Cancer, and this being a Sagittarius full moon. A lot of movement and not unease. What's the feeling that it's like restlessness. It's like a restless feeling like this no longer serves me. I need to move. That is coming up. So first card that popped out is the Eight of Pentacles. Really big card. Here at the bottom of the deck we have Justice. We have the Five of Pentacles, very interesting. The Two of Swords, the Ace of Wands, the Nine of Cups, the Eight of Cups, the Six of Wands, the Queen of Wands, the Knight of Swords, Judgment. We've had this card come out several times. Magician, the Knight of Pentacles, ooh, a lot of nines, and the Seven of Pentacles. And we have the Ace of Pentacles. I'm gonna maybe pull two more cards, but let's just start with the nitty-gritty of the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles is a very interesting card indeed. When we have the Eight of Pentacles, we see that there has been a great deal of progress. And we know that it's forward movement because it's not the only pentacle here that's high in the numbers. We have the Nine of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles. So there has, and we have the Five of Pentacles. Now, the Eight of Pentacles has a lot to do with finally seeing the fruition of everything that you've been working towards. So the Seven of Pentacles typically is the idea that the seeds have been planted, and typically and traditionally in the Rider-Waite deck, you see that it is a farmer that is leaning against a farming tool, and they're watching and looking at everything they just planted, waiting for it to grow. Now, the thing is that, as I've explained in the past, if you've seen any of the readings where I've broken down the Seven of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles is that idea of, yes, you plant your seeds and you tend to them, but you don't tend to them every second of every minute of every hour of every day, because you're wasting time. You're wanting to see water boil. You're wasting time and watching and waiting to see, but you're not letting it breathe and have that moment to actually do what it's got to do when you come back. It's not saying that you need to take a huge step back and absolutely forget everything you've planted. No, it's learning a method in which you put your energy towards something, but don't hyper fixate on it. Don't focus on it so much that you smother or suffocate the thing that you're wanting to grow. Now, the Eight of Pentacles is the step up from the Seven of Pentacles, where it is that, okay, now you're starting to see the growth from the seedlings that have been planted. And they're moving forward, you know where to continue to tend. Sometimes when you plant a crop or a plant, you'll notice which ones will take root, and you have to start to understand where is there healthy growth and where is there growth and then stagnation and then deterioration. This does happen. Not all seedlings that start to grow, they don't all yield a healthy harvest. Not all of them do. Most of them do, if you got that good tending thumb. But this is that idea, this is that indicator that things are progressing forward. Right now, times are tough for very many people, but things are slowly progressing forward one step at a time. Now, we have the Justice card. This is not the first time the Justice card has come out. This serves as that reminder, do unto others as you would have done unto you. Treat others fairly as you want to be treated. Use your best judgment when making a decision, moving forward, making a choice. Just be mindful. Now, consider that justice is here, and then it's followed by the Five of Pentacles. It's a very interesting tape because the Five of Pentacles is a card that traditionally represented in the Rider-Waite deck as an individual outside of what seems to be a church that is impoverished, that is without, that is homeless or elderly. It's depicted in many different ways, but it is typically identifying someone that is in a devastating state. Now, this image here is a cat, and it's looking at 4 other cats that are just all over the place. And even though you have this indicator that things are moving gradually in a better direction, this Five of Pentacles following the Justice card, and then it's followed by the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords is discernment. Is understanding the weight of the decisions to be made. Now, they're not decisions to be made lightly, right? Now, the Two of Swords, the Swords is a representation of air, representation of communication. There's 2 ways about communicating what it is that you need and what it is that you want. We're coming on to the full moon, and the full moon is the time for manifestation. So if you have yet to set your intentions, or so many new things have popped up, and so there's new things that you are aspiring to, there's new things that you need to set intentions upon. Be sure that they are going to cause harm to no one, so that it does not return to you. But also be mindful in how you discern what it is between what you need and what you want. And usually the question then becomes, why can't I have both? That doesn't mean that you can't have both. It depends on the way that you word this thing. Now, for example, let's say there's someone you have some envy towards. Now, I use envy as a broad term, but let's say there's those feelings of like, man, I want what they have. I want what this individual has. I want their job. I want their income. I want their. You are coveting something that belongs to someone already. Now, if you were to rephrase the way that you want to manifest that, is not I want theirs. That's that incurs bad karma, right? So what you would want to rephrase that as is I want something similar but better for myself. I want a job like that, but that was meant for me. I want income like that, but that it's made for me. Because there's so many different threads that intertwine in this universe that we don't take into consideration, and how much work it takes to earn that amount, how much work it takes to be in that position. We just see a small image of what it truly is, right? And what winds up making, or what winds up influencing the way that we want things is when things seem to be all over the place, right? When things seem to be super scattered, it's things that seem to be chaotic, we're in our anxiety, we have so many things going on in our mind. We don't take that moment to stop and think, think it through and how we want to verbalize what it is that we truly want for ourselves, that we just blurt things out. But the Justice card here and the Two of Swords is telling you, do not let, so mind you, there's a sword here with Justice as well, with balance and a sword. Do not let your devastation rule the way that you verbalize what it is that you truly want and need for yourself, especially when you're trying to work this manifestation for your betterment. We have the Ace of Wands. Now, the Ace of Wands, there's a lot of things that you want to aspire to, and because this is a full moon in Sagittarius, you are going to be yearning for those passions to be released, right? And that there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Just be mindful to not get too caught up with all of your emotions. There's a lot, not just a lot of earth energy here with a lot of the pentacles, but we have a lot of fire and we have a lot of emotion. We have a lot of emotion because we have the Nine of Cups and the Eight of Cups, right? Nine of Cups is, both these cups are in abundance, right? There is an abundance, but this abundance is not without emotion. This abundance is not without some type of emotional connection. And because Jupiter is in Cancer, a lot of your forward success movement in your work life and the things that you're aspiring to accomplish, they're going to be tied to how you feel about it. This is why not letting the material rule what it is that you're working towards. Very, very important. Yes, you have a lot of strong passions and you're passionate about these things that you've been wanting for so long, right? Nothing wrong with that. However, with how heavy these emotions are going to be, you're going to understand how it feels when things don't feel right. Your senses are going to be more heightened towards it. You're going to be noticing like, man, I was working towards this for so long and like, it's not the right environment, or This is a perfect workplace, perfect location and everything, but you know, the workplace politics just don't sit well with me, or the people just, I can't vibe with them. There's a lot of different emotions are going to be popping up. Or, you know, there's going to be a lot of shift that's going to be, you're going to be torn between like, hey, you know what? This is everything that I've asked for so long. And yet my passions are changing, you know? So there's nothing wrong with that. There's so much to understand. And when we have the Nine of Cups, the Nine of Cups is always towards emotional stability and growth. There's a lot of emotions that are coming up, and when you get the Nine of Cups, all these different emotions start to come in, because it's kind of like a test in how you have it. It's like the universe checking in to see, okay, all these different emotions are coming in. Can you decipher them? Can you handle them? And how are you going to handle them? Right? And so the Eight of Cups is kind of that reminder to not dwell too much in the past, especially when all these feelings are coming up. You're gonna reach a point, many of you are going to reach a point when you're asking, what changed? What changed in me? Why am I not as passionate anymore? And it can be a million different things. And that's why we have this huge amount of cups here. There's so many different factors, emotional factors, that are influencing these changes in you, and they are necessary. Remember, we've had a lot of Tower cards, and back to back, they've been coming. And that's the thing where when it comes to the cups and when it comes to the pentacles, there's many shifts that are happening. Not only, and so here's the thing, when you have a lot of fire, you have a lot of water, you have a lot of earth, this just mixed together causes a disruption, right? Not necessarily a bad thing, but it's kind of like the earth shaking. Like when you have super cold nights and you have super hot days, this really affects the earth and it causes earthquakes. Not necessarily a bad thing. Hopefully you're not scared of them. But that's what this is. With all the Tower cards that we've had back to back, this is just a, like, the after effects of all that ground shaking. Everything that needed to break apart, now the shifts are happening, right? You're no longer Pangea. You're no longer that one big, huge, you know, theoretical island it's not separating. It's all coming apart. It's all changing to form something completely different. We have the Six of Wands. Now at the top of the Six of Wands, you may not be able to see it. I'm trying to get, there you go. You have stars. Now, the star card is always a sign of hope. With the Six of Wands, and with there being 4 different corners of stars, this is kind of telling you or reminding you that you are a multifaceted being, that you have so many abilities that you can do so many things with, right? And as you see here, there are so many different wands. Every single one of them is different. This is that idea of select your passion. And this isn't the first time you've been told this. Select your passion as you are starting something different. You're on a brand new path. The path has been cleared for you. There's many different ones to choose from. Now choose the one. Quit doing this balancing act, or we're just going to come right back to the cycle again in maybe another 3 months. So moving forward, we have the Queen of Wands. Very interesting how you follow the Six of Wands. the Queen of Wands, someone who is very sure and steadfast in their decisions, who knows themselves very, very well. And above, she's surrounded by stars. She's surrounded by the night. Someone who is wholeheartedly, fully aware of themselves. And if you feel like, well, I'm trying to figure myself out, you're getting there. It's not like you're not. Now, that being said, we have the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is someone who is learning how to speak their truth, who's learning to cut the BS, learning to speak their truth. They're still in a state of learning, but they're working on it. This is followed by Judgment. How interesting that we have another reading where we have Justice and Judgment. Now, although she may look bratty, it is the learning stage. Mind you, they have that communication, they have that sword. They're learning how to communicate, how to utilize their... I threw a card, I don't know where it went, which one it was. They're learning how to utilize their best judgment. This Knight card is still still has a long way to go in regards to learning what it is that they want to communicate. So be mindful as you move forward. A lot of the times we feel like, I'm sick of this, I need to cut this shit out, all that stuff. This is not that time. That's why you have Justice, and that's why you have Judgment, because they're serving as reminders that as much as you want to say whatever the hell it is on your heart and is on your mind, use your better judgment. Now's not the time for that. You are in a state of healing. You are in a state of reaching your new you, who it is that you want to become, who it is that you want to evolve into, who it is that you are picturing and manifesting. And using the lack of judgment, lack of better judgment, lack of the judgment needed to ascertain what you want, is still a learning phase. But that serves as that reminder, because we have the Magician card, that you are that bitch. You are that bee. You are that powerful manifesting individual. So don't forget to be careful for the things that you ask for. Make sure that it will bring you good karma. I'm not saying that manifest for others. No, manifest for you, but manifest for you for the best for you, in the best way for you. You know, there's a huge, I don't know if I'm pretty sure I've shared this story before. Once upon a time, not too long ago, I had cancer. And I was battling it for 2 years. And someone had invited me to go to a sanación. It was a Catholic get together and everything. And I'm no longer a practicing Catholic. But I was invited. And there was a priest who did a practice that was very moving, where he asks for everyone in that stadium to raise their arms up to the sky and to pray to God. And during those prayers, he kept saying, if you drop your arms, you will fail the people you're praying for. So continue to pray. Pray for the people that you know need your prayers, that need the healing and all this stuff, right? And so I remember the person that took me, we were leaning on each other. We were trying so hard not to drop our arms. And you could see the crowd of people, some of the people, they looked defeated, they looked depressed because they could no longer hold their arms up. But you know, some people were just leaning on each other and trying, and you could see people's hands like starting to weaken and fall, and they were trying so hard to keep their arms up. And so finally the exercise ended, and the father had asked, at what point during all those prayers did you pray for yourself? And you could see across everyone's face that they didn't. And he said, why do you think that you are exempt from asking for the strength to be able to keep your arms up? Now, all that to say, knowing how to ask for what it is that you need and you want, to have both, to manifest it, genuinely takes learning how to ask for things that won't cause harm to others. And that's a huge thing that's needed right now in these times. So, although many people have the mindset of like, F everyone else, what have they done for me? That doesn't matter. What are you manifesting for you? And how is taking from others gonna be the best for you? Because that messes with your karma. Now, let me see what card it is that I accidentally threw away. The Nine of Pentacles. Abundance. The Nine of Pentacles. Abundance. This is what you're looking for. This is what you want. Abundance of healthy emotions, abundance of monetary gain, abundance in happiness, abundance in things that are going to genuinely make you live a better life, right? Many people strive for this, and you can make it happen. Just be careful of how you tend to the seeds that you plant, because this is a new learning experience. And you have to be aware of the way that you gain these materials and resources. The two cards that I mentioned that I had here, still at the bottom of the deck, we have the King of Swords, the no bullshit card. This is a reminder to not bullshit yourself, because you can't bullshit the universe. You can't bullshit your higher power. So quit bullshitting yourself. And then we have the Ten of Cups, ultimate fulfillment. Nine of Pentacles, Ten of Cups, Eight of Cups, Nine of Cups. There's so much good abundance that's coming in. Don't cheat yourself by bullshitting yourself. You know how to verbalize this, or take that time to really verbalize this in the best way possible, so that you can actually get the good things you deserve. So let's move forward. Mighty Fates, what additional lessons? Ooh, they were quick. The Warrior, ooh, and the Wildling. I like it because we have more swords to add to this reading. So ultimate, no BSing. The Warrior and the Wildling. The Warrior says, this is why here we go. Here we go. It's harder to actually find these than it is in the Animal Spirit Guide. Okay, so the Warrior. The Warrior says, pulling the Warrior card indicates a need for a strong fire energy and internal power. The Warrior is a call to action as opposed to just a state of mind. It asks you to examine not just oppressive people in your life, but also the larger systems within the world, and then get to work. The Warrior is not about complacency and identifying where you need to stand up more. You may make those around you feel uncomfortable and defensive, but you must continue forward. The warrior can have a cutting message. It is saying, I see what you are doing, but what else can you do? The warrior sacrifices parts of themselves for humanity at large. The balanced warrior fights to create positive change, but may go about it in questionable ways. They are strong and resilient and do not have fear when they go up against oppressors. When the warrior is imbalanced, they can be very inflammatory and hyper aggressive. They can push those away that may be of use to them and easily bypass things that are good for them. They don't understand the concept of pick your battles and react with equal intensity no matter how big or small the issue is. Oh my goodness, I'll make this shit up, guys. And then we have the wildling. The wildling. Pulling the wildling card indicates a time to connect to the most primal parts of yourself. This may mean you need to detach a bit from people around you so you can hear the whispers of your deepest knowing without the influence of others. The wildling is raw, empowered, and independent. Many people are intimidated by them because they need little from others and prioritize radical freedom, which can be unsettling as most of society operates within unspoken expectations and contracts. The wildling burns the contract and heads into the woods. Wildling comes to us as an ally when we need to break free of the systems that limit us. The wildling within us remembers a time where we lived with the land, when we walked barefoot, when our lives were in alignment with the natural world. Wildling is a call for remembrance. A good way to invoke wildling is to dive deeper into our body and hear what it needs from us on our most primal level. A balanced wildling prioritizes freedom but remains grounded. They possess an instinct that may not make sense to others, but never leads them astray. They are present to their own emotions and needs. They will spend time on their personal development. An unbalanced wildling is in a state of perpetual chaos. They are avoidant and often use the external for a band-aid of their internal disease or dis-ease, which often means they are constantly moving on to the next thing. What they move on to never ends up being what they hoped for. Well, I'll be damned because I can't make this shit up. Animal spirit guides, what do you have for us to finish this reading? They're quick with it this time. I wanted to keep this reading short and it never is. Hold on. Okay. First one is Moth Spirit. Surrender now. Moth Spirit asks, what is guiding you right now? Are you in alignment with Spirit or pursuing something or someone with so much tenacity that it has become a compulsion or addiction? Are you so intoxicated by a potential relationship or opportunity that you can't think straight? Hard work and dedication are virtues, and love, of course, is a beautiful thing. However, when Moth Spirit appears, it is time to consider if you have gone over the edge in a relentless pursuit. Workaholism, overeating, perfectionism, or addiction to certainty, or even to a person may be your current vice. The form of your addiction does not matter so much as the awareness of the consequences of remaining persistent when moderation is needed. Let go of your excessive energy by channeling it in more than one direction. The fire burns hot, and you do not want to be engulfed by your own passion to the exclusion of all other pursuits that matter to you. Now is a time for surrender and radical acceptance so that your drive does not cause you to flee or to fight. Spirit wants you to release your need for certainty and control so that you can relax into a more balanced way of using your moth spirit energy. Banish the shoulds and musts so that you can enjoy what is as you allow for what might be. Moth spirit can be intense, and honesty about your own compulsive tendencies is needed right now. It is too easy to switch from one addiction to another, distracting yourself from the discomfort of uncertainty and the thoughts and emotions that arise when you aren't single-mindedly pursuing a goal. Moth spirit calls you to practice moderation in all things and recognize when you think you are headed toward the light, but are really heading into a fire that will cause burnout. Why are you so resistant to letting up? Could you be avoiding difficult emotions you need to feel and release? Now is a time to do a fearless inventory so that your addictive tendencies can be toned down and rechanneled into enthusiastic activity and moderation. You are not a machine. Listen to Moth Spirit's message that a change is needed to support your own well-being. Maybe deep down, you know you have become too attached to something and someone. Let go of your need to control the outcome and allow yourself to remember the many ways you want to channel your energy to relationships, to work, to giving to others, to self-care, and to all other pursuits you value. Pretty intense. Squirrel spirit, believe in yourself. Sorry, okay. Squirrel spirit. You have accumulated wisdom and experience and are surrounded by all you need. An abundance of resources is available to you through the generosity of spirit and all your hard work. Squirrel spirit shows up when you need reminding that the acorns you've gathered and stowed away have enormous potential to grow. So relax into knowing there is always enough, and you will have it, and you have what it takes to co-create the reality you want to experience. Through diligent preparation, you have gained wisdom and strength. How much potential you have. Believe in yourself, for Spirit believes in you and wants you to know you have enough and are enough. Doesn't that truth make you feel safe and secure? It should, for you have everything you need right now. The unpredictability of life can shake your confidence in yourself and your potential for handling the challenges that come your way. Does the thought of not having enough or being enough make you squirrely? Have you forgotten all your strengths, wisdom, and resources? You have come so far on your wits and creativity, making use of all your potential and all that Spirit presents you to help you through life's trying times. It's time to look back on your life and remember how your needs have always been met for the highest good, even in your most challenging times. Life loves you, and so many treasures are hidden in plain sight, ready to be revealed when you most need them. So relax. Squirrel Spirit wants you to know you're poised and ready for whatever is coming next. So trust in yourself and trust that Spirit has your back. And last but not least, let Spirit be your guide, and it is the Hawk Spirit. Flying high above the landscape, the hawk sees both the big picture and the small details, observes the rain and the pond as well as the cloud, and doesn't miss anything. When Hawk Spirit arrives, you are called to pay close attention to messages from Spirit that can appear anywhere in any form. Listen to your intuition. Keep your eyes open for synchronicities, the meaningful coincidences, sorry. Hawk Spirit asks you not to dismiss the signs that Spirit is sending to guide you. Lately, have you been hearing the same word or song or coming across the same symbol here, there, and in the strangest places? Perhaps you hear a song on the radio with just the right lyric pertaining to your query. Or you begin to notice uncanny billboards, license plates, or other places where repetitive numbers or words show up for you to notice. Pay attention to the animals that appear for you and connect with their symbolism. Spirit wants to communicate and reaches out again and again. When Spirit appears, it is a sign to listen. Are you noticing red flags? Perhaps saying to yourself, "Oh, what pretty flags," and giving them no more thought? Hawk Spirit has arrived to tell you to stop and listen to the messages from Spirit. Take the time to observe the patterns you are seeing and do not dismiss your intuition. Even if the messages you receive are not supported by evidence in the physical world. If it feels illogical to listen right now, listen anyway. Sometimes you might want certain signs and messages to mean what you want them to mean, interpreting through the lens of wishful thinking, a projection of your desire to see things a certain way. Of course, when you do that, you rarely find yourself where you want to be. Take heart. Spirit loves you so much and does not want you to get hurt, but to align with Spirit's plan for your highest good. Listen and follow the signs and check your motives when you are being selective with your hearing. Oof. Those are quite some messages for quite a few people. There's a lot of different messages in here, and sometimes, and I can see that it is a lot of questions that are being asked, a lot of guidance, a lot of words for wisdom being requested, and they're here. So I genuinely hope that every single one of these helped, and I'll see you guys next time.